the reason why this question even comes up is because it's usually after we talk about the financial state of physical therapy. I think sometimes people are scared to talk about the financial aspect of it. But it's not just physical therapy, it's healthcare in general and other professions as well, where basically the investment for physical therapy school or graduate school or whatever schooling, depending on the profession, is just like a lot greater than the return that you get on the back. Turning dreams into reality. Hey, what is up? How you doing? My name is Ngugi. I am a physical therapist, also one of the co-founders of Pre-PT Grind, a PT school acceptance coach. And what we do is we help students realize their dream of becoming physical therapists. So if you're interested in the field of physical therapy, you have found the right page. And so we look forward to just serving you. And if you enjoy this, please be sure to binge all the other content we have on this platform. We also have our other social media platforms and whatnot that you can follow us at. And then of course, be sure to like, subscribe, and share this out if it helps you out. And if the other trainings help you out too, do the same so that we can impact as many other future physical therapists as possible. So I'm going to talk about a question that we get a lot when we speak at universities or any guest presentations that we give, where we have a Q&A afterwards with pre-PTs. And one of the questions they ask us, and I'll give some context after I give you the question, but one of the questions that they ask us is, would we still become physical therapists if we could do it all over? Like if we could go back in time and do it all over, would we still have made the same decision we made as students to ultimately become physical therapists, which is what we are today? And the reason why this question even comes up is because it's usually after we talk about the financial state of physical therapy. I think sometimes people are scared to talk about the financial aspect of it. But it's not just physical therapy, it's healthcare in general and other professions as well, where basically the investment for physical therapy school or graduate school or whatever schooling, depending on the profession, is just like a lot greater than the return that you get on the back end. So for example, if I go to physical therapy school and I invest $150,000 or $200,000 into all my schooling, and then I come out of school and I'm making $75,000, it's like, wait, like how do I make that work, right? Especially if we're talking about, debt and, obviously over time that number ends up being a lot higher than what it was initially when you graduated from school. And so basically it's just students like, man, like y'all know now what the state of the profession is. Y'all know now what's going on with debt and all that stuff. Would you do it again? And we always tell them yes. We always say yes. And I'm going to give you 2 reasons why yes. And I want you to just be aware, like as you're going into your future career, if it's physical therapy, phenomenal. If it's something else, cool. But as you're going into your future career, just be aware of the realities of it, because every profession has beautiful things and every profession has problems. And it's just a matter of figuring out, what are you willing to tolerate? Like what are you willing to tolerate within each profession? And then also, what are the opportunities within each profession? And I'll talk about that here in just a second. But the reason why I would still do physical therapy again is because of, number 1, alignment. And I'll explain what that is here in just a second. And then number 2, opportunity. So alignment comes from the fact that, and I could go down a whole rabbit hole, but for the gifts that I want to give the world, whether it's interacting with people, time, all these different things that the field of physical therapy has, it's the one that just aligns with me the most. And I actually remember the time that I was introduced to the profession, like for real, I was in high school. It was my junior year of high school. And what they did at our high school is once a year for the alumni weekend, they would have several of the alumnists from our school come back and talk about their career, right? And so I actually remember at that time I was like two of them I was super interested in, because growing up, it was basically you either become a physician, a lawyer, or an engineer, right? And so there was a physician there and there was a lawyer there. And one of them was filled up. And so I was like, okay, I have to find another profession to kind of cover it up. And that's how I ended up signing up for the physical therapist, who was there. Not necessarily because I wanted to watch or listen to the physical therapy presentation. It's just because that was the sheet that I saw having most most of my friends in it. So I was like, I mean, if I'm not going to enjoy whatever I'm listening to, I might as well be with my friends. So I literally went there because my friends were there. And then my mind was blown. So I actually remember thinking this, right? As I was listening to this physical therapist sharing what she did and what a day in the life of, for her, she was an outpatient physical therapist. What a day in the life was for her. All I could remember thinking in that time was, wait, she gets paid to do that? Like, because I couldn't process the fact that there was a career that basically took the things that I thought were just fun or just normal, whether it's socializing or spending time with people, not being behind a desk all day, all that stuff, and they were actually paid for it. And I was like, wait a minute, like, that's a career? Like, I would love that, right? And so that's where my first taste of alignment came from. And obviously over time, I ended up, I researched other careers, all that stuff. And I ended up realizing that physical therapy is what I wanted to do, right? So from an alignment point of view, this is it. This is it. Now, the next stage is where, where opportunity really, really seals the deal, right? So what most people don't realize is whenever there's a problem, problems are always, problems are always alongside opportunities. If there's ever a problem somewhere, that means that there is an equal opportunity, and most people just don't see the opportunity, right? So even in healthcare, we talked about one of the issues being the financial component of it, right? And I'm not going to do that. Like, we talk about money in different trainings and whatnot. And we recently did an event on it. That's actually why I'm wearing this. It was the New Money PT live event where we actually taught students how to make money while in school. So that's not what I'm going to go and talk about right now. What I want to talk about is the opportunity. And so the opportunity within physical therapy is in the fact that, I'll give you a stat, right? So there was a research study that I read a few years back that basically said that from the sample that they took, out of all the people that needed physical therapy within this sample, anywhere between 7 to 10% actually got physical therapy. So from that moment, I was like, wait a minute. So if that was the reality of the rest of the country, that means 90% of the people out there, 90+% of the people out there that actually need physical therapy ever get it? Wait, there's a problem with that, right? Like, you mean to tell me that there's people out there that could benefit from this thing that we do, right? This thing that allows us to teach people how to like heal themselves, right? Like basically physical therapy is teaching people how to do certain things that allow their bodies to heal themselves. It's beautiful, right? But there are people that could benefit from that, but they're stuck on medication for the rest of their lives, or they're having surgeries that might have not been necessary. So you mean to tell me there are 90% plus people out there, even if it was 80%, even if it was 70%, even if it was 50%, you mean there's people out there that we could be serving with our gift of physical therapy and we aren't? That was the opportunity. So there's this beautiful opportunity where for the individuals, for the physical therapists, or for the students, or for the future PTs that are like, you know what, I want to learn the skills that allow me to get to those people, right? So those are not necessarily skills. I mean, think about it. Like most of the times when, patients have come to a clinic or whatnot, they usually come there because of a script. So a physician has sent them there, right? But there are skills that you can learn that allow you to serve the public directly, right? So right now I'm serving you directly. Like it's through YouTube or through any medium that, whether it's social media or whatever. So those are skills like marketing, learning how to actually market, learning how to actually communicate, learning how to actually, say, you know what, I know how to solve, back pain issues. What if I talked to the public, whether it was in person or virtually or whatnot? What if I communicated with the public about certain back issues in a way where they could actually understand it, in a way where I'm actually communicating at a 5th grade level or less, because more people could actually comprehend it. I'm not using any big words. I'm not none of that. Like I'm communicating in a way where people are like, wait a minute, I feel like this person that's serving me understands me. I've never heard anyone talk about it. I can't tell you how many patients have even come to, to see me in the clinic, and they're like, nobody's ever explained my injury or my this or that the way you just did. I feel completely understood. And so if we can use those skills, number one, it'll allow us to impact more people, because most people are like, I want to help people. Cool. That's your way of that's your way of that's your way of helping people. But at the same time, it also directly correlates to people actually wanting to pay you to help them with that. So a lot of the people that I have seen, including us, who have done well financially, it's because of the opportunity. They understand that it's their job to learn skills that they did. Like, we did not learn those skills in school. All we learned was how to treat, do evaluations, all that stuff. Like, I'm talking about like how to actually serve the public in the way that the public has not been served, or in a way that actually creates clarity and confidence and basically draws them to what we do. And the people that can do that well also get paid more, because they can serve more people. They can also do it one to many. Like, I can go down the rabbit hole and y'all be like, oh my goodness, he's going down. Like all I need you to know is that's why I would do it again, because I feel completely aligned with this profession. And so that's why, like, when I ask students, why do you want to be a physical therapist? Like, you have to ask yourself that, so that you're not going down a career that someone else told you to do. Like, even if we make PT sound cool, like I don't want you to do it because of that. I want you to know that this is the career that you have been called to be in, period. The end. And if you know that, then everything else falls in place, right? But at the same time, you have to ask yourself, if I am going to make the financial investment of being in PT school, then I have to learn the skills that will allow me to serve people to where, like, I can create more impact that does lead to more income. And we can talk about that on on another training. But ultimately, I have to figure out ways to make my financial investment worth the financial return as well, because it's like, y'all, like, that's a big deal. Otherwise, what happens is sometimes people actually leave the career because they're like, this doesn't even make sense financially anymore. Or people choose to do things with their career that lead them to fall out of love with it. Maybe they're in a setting that they don't actually like, and there's so many different settings within physical therapy. So you want to constantly feel aligned. And if you want to do that, then you have to realize there's an opportunity in this profession. And so that's my answer. And that's the answer we always give, because it's the truth. And it's what we have lived out over the past 5+ years. And it's really allowed us to, like, communicate and serve and interact with so many different amazing human beings. And it also allows us to still love we have a blast being physical therapists to this day. And so that's why we would do it. And so if you're right now, as a future physical therapist or whatnot, and you're like, man, I don't know if I should do it. Well, there's plenty of opportunity. You just have to ask yourself, are you willing to step into it? And if you're willing to step into it, then your world will change, but the people you will be able to impact are like hundreds of times more than what you would ever have done if you just took the more traditional route of being a physical therapist. So we'll do more trainings on this and kind of breaking it down, but I hope that gives you a place to start. And if you have questions on this, feel free to DM us. Feel free to comment below. And if you do need help with getting to at least the first stage of getting into physical therapy school, then a really great training that gets you started is www.rejectionproofprept.com, where we will teach you the blueprint to make it happen, and to basically avoid rejection. That's why we call it rejection proof pre-PT. So if that's what you want for that first stage, because you're like, I know I want to be a physical therapist still, and I'm willing to start learning about the opportunities within the profession, then welcome to the profession, and we can't wait to call you colleagues. And I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. I hope this was valuable. Please be on the lookout. We have more trainings coming up. We have multiple trainings coming out every single week. Please take it, digest it, run with it, and that's it.